Do I have the lovely Cody online ready for me?
You do.
Wonderful news. All right. Well, lots has happened since we last spoke. We have Connor, top seed on UB Tempo, or as Connor likes to call it, Grixis. Sorry, Gixis, because it is not Grixis colored, but it is Grixis without the R. Very exciting to see these decks in the top 8.
I haven't seen Demir pop off in a while. I love this.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. Okay. All right, we're resolving our. We finished resolving our mulligans. We did our opening hand. We see Gurmag and Sheoldred's Edict left over, yeah, looks like we're ready to party. It's top 8. Thank you, Kat. Mike, sound good. Top 8 was Blue Black Tempo, Goblins, 5-color Walks, White Black Twilight, which hopefully we can get a look at next round. Grixis, 4-color Tokens, and 4-color Walks and Jund. So Walks still pretty prevalent.
Yeah. I think there's been a little bit of a resurgence again because we didn't see a whole lot coming through at CanCon, but we did see a lot come up this weekend. So this is quite impressive for 2 to come to top 8, right? Was it 2 copies?
Yeah. We have three total. So one. Wait, is that right? No, that's not right. 2 total. 1 5-color one. We saw Jordan win. I think round 1. It was on camera. Also, yeah, Spiderbite, thanks for the clarification. We did see Jordan with that 5-color, sort of similar. It's similar list, not quite the same. But Jordan was piloting this 5-color Atraxa deck to a CanCon, almost win. I think lost out somewhere in the top 8, but yeah, still around. But yeah, interesting to see how these things ebb and flow for sure.
And I believe we got a turn 2 Gurmag from Connor here.
Doesn't get much nicer than that. Mythic Rare, Highlander Mythic Rare, Mental Note, very hard to find, but definitely does well as an extra copy of Thought Scour to enable those early Jolt threats.
Quite an impressive beta from Connor here, but Max playing through the Delighted Halfling alternate art out here as well after Thought Seizing and Swamp Cycling, the Troll of Khazad-dûm.
Yeah, a lot of similar cards from both sides. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Grixis. I'm saying Grixis because there's also a player in Canberra who's playing Grixis Splash White. So there's Grixis. We got Gixis. We got Grixis. We got the whole gang in Canberra. But yeah, on Connor's side, I think I see a Sauron's Ransom. I think I saw one before, so I'd be really happy to see that enter the battlefield.
Yeah, there's been quite a few Lord of the Rings cards that have made a profound impact in the format, particularly the cycling cards. And Sauron's Ransom has been, I guess, the best fact or fiction that's ever been printed, if I'm correct.
If you're not correct, you're at least really, really close. Because this card, for those who don't know, the ring tempts you, most important part, of course, but it's a 3-mana instant. Separate the top 4 cards into 2 piles face down. Your opponent gets to make a face down pile and a face up pile, and then you choose. But like, it's so interesting with this card because if the hand that has been, it's usually 2-2 split, like most sort of fact or fiction style piles, but there's really nice like psychological damage that happens for your opponent trying to resolve this because we see Subtlety, Takanuma, Thought Scour, and Lorraine Revealed. So nothing too impactful, but like Max could put maybe the better cards face down and some of the weaker cards face up so that the Gixis player can sort of decide whether or not they want to go for the sure thing with the Thought Scour and the Lorraine Revealed, or if you want to try and get that Takanuma and the Subtlety, and it looks like he's gone for that latter option.
In all my days, I've never seen a legendary Gurmag angler. This is my first time viewing this, and this is very exciting.
Oh my goodness! And the ring has tempted the Gurmag angler like so many fish into the gullet of that giant fish. But yeah, I've a beautiful legendary Gurmag angler there. Kind of funny. We've seen a couple of times in the past the Caracas it's becoming a little bit more prevalent because if you can make your own, like if you can make Samwise the ring bearer, you can bounce it back to your hand. You make Snapcaster Mage a ring bearer. Like there are sort of cute synergies with Caracas and the ring temps you, but hopefully for Connor, there won't be any downside. And I think Max will probably have a tough time with the Gomagenga regardless of its legendary status.
And we just saw them trying to rebuy the Sauron's Ransom to get Endurance to try and shuffle away the Mystic Sanctuary trigger. However, a Daze came in very clutch, also bouncing back the Mystic Sanctuary to the hand. So we're going for some loops here.
That's really nice. And we were mentioning in that previous game as well, the power of Mystic Sanctuary at 0 points. And God, it's so nice with Daze. It's so nice with Gush. Like there's so many cards that just like accidentally make Mystic Sanctuary so much better. And it's just nice to see them played, of course.
Yeah, and then coming through now with a Questing Beast getting checked by Subtlety as well, putting on the top of the library.
How's have you played with Subtlety before? I've played it a couple of times and it's like kind of middling. I was wondering if you had any experience with it as another free counterspell.
Yeah, I've actually had some cute interactions with it as well inside of my Grixis, the bus stop shell. Been playing it quite extensively now. Just another way to slow down the opponent or potentially get in some beats with a 3/3 flash flyer. So it's been quite reliable.
Very nice. I think if you ever, like, it's probably one of the better ones to hard cast because, like, that 3/3 flying, that's no joke. You know, that's like a pretty substantial attacker for sure.
Yeah, of course. It's definitely put on the pressure for some opponents. You know, the tempo swing of returning a creature to the top or potentially putting it away to the bottom, but the swing it provides is very substantial. But now we're going for a Sauron's Ransom V2.
Yeah, this is funny. The ring very rarely tempts you more than once. I feel like it's like kind of incidental, but we're going to see the situation here where Gomag Angler has Skulk, which is kind of funny and boring because it's not going to do anything, obviously, with this 5/5. But the next time the ring is tempting the Gomag Angler, they're going to be able to do that looting, which is like a really nice, just sort of draw one card, discard a card if it connects. Paired with Skulk is really nice, but yeah, you very rarely get to see that second ring trigger.
Yeah, it's been quite common to see the first. We've seen a few Samwises being cast and floating around inside the meta as well, but getting a second ring bearer trigger, that's a little uncommon in my days.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Lord of the Rings cards, the fun never stops with this Gixis list because that's a Palantir of Orthonac. Have you seen this? Have you played this card? Have you seen it? I feel like I've seen it in every second sideboard these days.
We've been seeing it quite a bit, and it came up in a matchup versus bots where they play it turn 1 and it becomes very scary off Mishra's Workshop. So that card on turn 1 is very, very strong.
Oh yeah. I'll find out X suits what they were communicating, but yes, it was a polluted delta under there. There was a judge call. If I were to make a guess, I would say the person who owns the card wanted to know how ring temps you works. But next time the judge comes over, I'll call him in and find out. But yeah, some weird's happening, that's for sure. It slows down the game a little bit, but I think we're back on track now. Beautiful and respectful upside down cards by Connor. This is the preferred way to look at cards for me, you know. I like to know that my mental misstep and my Takanuma, you know, upside down. Get them down under. That's how we go. Oh, interesting. So we put the Sheoldred's Edicts back on top of the deck with the Mystic Sanctuary for the second time. Didn't want to go for the Ring Temps You a third time, but I think we're going to take one hit from this Questing Beast that we put on top of the Subtlety. No, Max is not even going to wait. Sees the writing on the walls. He knows that Sheoldred's Edict's coming. And yeah, we pack it up. double Soren's Ransom, pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Yeah, it's actually quite impactful with decks that play a lot of delve threats as well, being able to utilize the card advantage to find the next piece or interaction piece, and also fueling your delve pieces too. Seems like a great shoe-in for this deck, this Gixis deck. And then Gurmag on turn 2 being able to close it out as well. So quite an impressive showing from Connor.
Incredible. And like we've seen this in multiple formats as well. This like this play pattern of fetch land cantrip, fetch land cantrip, Gurmag Angler turn 2. Like that's like pretty common, especially in like sort of legacy blue-black Death Shadow shells as well. Like you're filling up the graveyard, but you're not you're only filling it up for delve. It's like you're not trying to do too much except that sort of like velocity of just trying to fill a bunch of cards into the graveyard, not really caring what they are.
Yeah, it kind of plays into like the Xerox mindset of playing the best cards at the cheapest mana. I mean, Gurmag's very efficient at 1 mana. 1 mana 5/5 gets the job done. We saw it come in earlier with a 1 mana Tolarian Terror that came in. So these delve cards and delve-esque cards have been quite strong today. So
yeah, really, really showing the power of that sort of bus-stop-y archetype where you're trying to do the tempo thing, but like the threats are just so efficient these days, and it's like the removal is really efficient as well. And like it's funny to see that Soren's Ransom is like, damn, a 3 mana spell that you're casting for 3 mana. That's wild. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that clarification. Yes, Connor did win that game 1. We're going to go into game 2 now. Lovely. So we still do not have access to the deck lists as they're locked away in the tournament vault until the tournament is done. But we do get to get a little peer about what the Gixis deck is all about. And honestly, I could probably guess now that I know that the Soren's Ransom is in there, of course, I could probably guess the 60 in Connor's deck. Like we saw before, the Daze, the Reanimate, we saw before Snuff Out, and there's like efficient threats. We're doing the tempo stuff. We're gonna play a queen, and we're gonna protect her. And it's worked for him today as he makes his way into the top 8.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice to omit the red from the very popular bus stop Grixis deck, but it seems to be holding its, holding its weight up here. So this is quite an impressive showing from Connor. Love to see what Max can do for game 2. See if they can pull in a game and get a dub in there as well. So
yeah, Max, no stranger to the winning records. He was the 2nd place winner at CanCon. National Highlander Championships at the start of the year. Won himself a time walk, which is I guess that's first place. No, Mox was first place. I think what? Yeah, beat time walk was 2nd place, and yeah, it was like only 2nd, but everyone around him is like, don't you dare say that. Yeah, it's like God, you make your way through. That was like 100 and something players as well, and it's like. Yeah, really impressive showing by Max as someone who's kind of relatively new to the scene of Highlander for sure.
To go 2nd place into already getting into top 8 here for CanBrawl. Very impressive showing as well from Max. So we'll see what hands are being drawn up here for game 2, and hopefully they've got some sideboard action to take it away as well in these opening hands.
Yeah, we see Thoughtseize. I think we're keeping this hand. I saw a Thoughtseize, I saw an Oliphant, Slimefoot and Squee. Maybe some sort of green card and Marsh Flats. And I think that's a Palantir on the far right. Again, another showing of that Palantir on both sides.
Yeah, the alternate arts do appear to be tricky to recognize, but I think that is Palantir, the hand reaching for the orb. So there is another Palantir in this game. We'll see if this one enters the battlefield.
Yeah, it feels so unassuming, and it really can be unassuming, but it's like preordain every turn rules. Like even if it didn't do the other thing, which it kind of doesn't sometimes, you're like, at one point your opponent's at such a life total that they would just like never say, I'm gonna mill 5 or whatever and take whatever damage comes from it. So eventually it just becomes a preordain every turn, but damn, I love preordain,
Preordain in a colorless card. I mean, who doesn't want that every turn?
Who does? Absolutely. Some love coming for the chat for Max. Max is confirmed one of the nicest boys in MTG. Yes, I would dare say that as well. He's a very cheery person, a primary school teacher as well. So he's got that, he's got that love and respect for the kids. So hopefully he hears this later from his throne at the top of top 8 and knows that, of course, the MTG community does appreciate his presence. Speaking of Preordain, 1 mana Preordain, controversial at this point with all the Palantirs that we've seen around, but yes, still very played. Preordain, 1 mana cantrip, scry 2, draw a card.
Well, if you can't play 4 Preordains, you might as well play 2, right? Highlander, there can only be 1, but...
Oh man, imagine the power of turn 1 Preordain, turn 2 Omen of the Sea, turn 3 Palantir. What the heck is your opponent ever going to do about that, you know?
That's a great question. Well, the opponent might also just play Palantir as well. We'll find out what happens.
That's right.
Turn 2 from Max here, because there's a cantrip going on, and now this fetch happening as well. So Max probably looking to take a lead here on turn 2 with a Fallout Tarmogoyf, I think.
That is... Oh, you know what? I think this is from the Fallout set. I kind of half recognize the border. But yeah, I would dare say that that is a Tarmogoyf, and not as big as it would have been last game with that really full graveyard on Connor's side. But I see 3 on Connor's side. That's still a pretty beefy threat for 2 mana.
Yeah, certainly. It's got that Pip-Boy aesthetic going on with the border, and it's going to be big throughout this game. 2 mana, currently 3/4,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, sorcery land creature in the bin. Tarmogoyf, again, another card that was, 2015, 2017, every person and their dog will be playing a Tarmogoyf, and then it just dropped off for a long time, but the resurgence is happening, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, and when we're talking about the most efficient cards that are, the most power and toughness or the least mana cost, this one grows, and it shows that it's still good in this day and age. So Tarmogoyf looking pretty strong right now as a 2 mana 3/4, but at this stage can only get bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously it's the Gixxis players' prerogative to fill that graveyard up as much as they possibly can as well, and that's only just going to make that Tarmogoyf bigger and bigger, but not this time. Subtlety says no, and we're going to put that Tarmogoyf back on top of the library after giving us enough time to sing its praises.
And we just saw Connor draw a Gurmag Angler. So at this stage, I believe they've got 5 in graveyard. Delve away those creatures and 2 mana there. So they can play the Gurmag with a day's backup. Wow, ooh. Impressive showing.
Yeah, this is surgical precision from the Gixxis player. Like, every turn, so easy to put a Gurmag on the battlefield. I mean, it's not hard. Like, we're not singing his praises too much, but I think Connor has definitely played a lot of Gurmag Anglers today, and to probably a pretty good record if we're looking at him in the top 8. Tarmogoyf looking a little bit less impactful here. Just Thoughtseize and a couple of lambs in the bin, and against this 5/5, not as powerful as we said before. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so taking damage here. Taking an extra damage for something. Here comes the Oliphant. I guess you're like... Yeah, I was going to say you probably want to be pretty strict on your life total because Max... I mean, he knows what he's doing and that's all fine, but you are putting yourself down to a 2-turn clock, whereas previously a 3-turn clock, and maybe that was never going to be a problem with fetch lands and stuff, but this Pete land, I think Max is kind of feeling the sting right now.
Yeah, we're going to need to see some impactful removal spell coming through from Max to deal with this Gurmag, or drawing this Goyf to a cheeky 5/6. So we'll have to see what happens from Max here on turn 4.
What's your favorite tribal spell?
Ooh, I do love a Tarfire. That's been a classic in my rug days where I've had a little cheeky time and got I guess a kindred type, I think was what they were reworking it to.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I've cast that a few times and felt it's been a little average, but it's there for the Goyf. We always love it for the Goyf.
Yeah, absolutely. The things we do for our Love the Goyf. Here's another, not quite a removal spell, but it's going to do the job right now. Max does have to take 2 for the Shockland to go down to 8, but we're casting a Slimefoot and Squee. And then I guess if Connor has to... there's no evasion from this Gomag Angler, so Max could theoretically block forever, because every time that Gomag Angler is attacking, it gives Slimefoot and Squee an opportunity to attack and make another sapling as well. So it's definitely not over, that's for sure.
Oh, there's an interesting play that could happen here as well. If you chump with the Squee, you have potential to sack the Sapling the next turn to return the Squee and the Goyf to the battlefield, but opting to go for a chump block with the token.
Oh, it's so risky. I mean, I think there's a Bowmaster. Yeah, there's a Bowmaster's there. This is a really complex line, because if you block with the Sapling and your opponent can remove the Slimefoot, then it's just gone forever. You can never get it back. But if you block with the Slimefoot, you open yourself up to the Bowmasters. So I think Max was like kind of in a tricky place, as you said.
Yeah. The tension between those two plays is pretty strong, but opting for the chump of the token as well. So going to generate another sapling next turn with an attack.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens on turn 5 for Max here.
That did end up being the better play. I guess you're like, I don't know if you're playing around. I don't know if people have like post-traumatic stress from the amount of times that they've seen their black player like leave open 2 mana and pass the turn. Like, I feel like Bowmasters has happened so many times that it might just be scarred into you forever. But for Max, he made the right play, so...
I'm very scared, but pre-points announcement, I was very scared of 2 open mana from black. Me with my cantrips, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh man, I played around a opposition agent for like 4 or 5 turns, and then I was like, I don't think my opponent has this dumb spell. So I like played the played intuition, and then my opponent just got like reanimate force of will, and I was force of negation from my deck, and I was like, I guess I'm dead, because it's like you can play around it for as long as you want, but at some point you do have to like do something. But God, it hurts when you're playing around something and you get punished for it.
Yeah, like holding fetches is quite important to brainstorm and shuffle away the extra pieces that you don't need, and then a Tashana's Tidebinder or opposition agent catches you off guard, and yeah, you just get blown out.
Oh yeah, all too well. But the annoying thing about Tashana's Tidebinder that you mentioned is people don't usually play around Stifle, but like maybe they're playing around Stifle now, and for Stifle players like me, that's terrible news. I don't want you to do that, So yeah, thank you to Shana's Tiebinder for that one. But looks like we're getting a Karaksa right now, and it's a good one. I don't mind it at all.
That blocks really well. That Gurmag is not attacking through that.
No, not at all. Still leaving 1 mana up so expertly. The Daze is gone, so I guess you don't have to play around Daze anymore, but... a removal spell could be really annoying for Max. Could even be lethal before you know it. But we've got Lutri and Baleful Strix and no more Baleful Strix, but we also have the Bowmasters. So yeah, we do have that. Super interesting. Okay. Not going for the Bowmasters is kind of funny. The Lutri sometimes comes in as an ambush viper, but doesn't feel like it happens that often, especially when you have that other flash threat. But Connor's brain, big and strong. So he knew what was going to happen. He knew he had that fatal push ready to go.
Oh, that's an impressive fatal push off the top to a misstep. Ooh.
Max in the no blue deck managed to get a counterspell out of it. Very interesting for all involved. But yes, Max, congratulations, passes the mental misstep test for Australian Highlander. You lose the test if you don't play mental misstep, and you win the test if you are playing mental misstep. And damn, that was really good for Max. Really nice one off the top.
Yeah, that was a very impressive showing for mental misstep. Yeah, now we get the Dread Fugue taking that Bowmasters.
Ooh, really getting punished for not flashing in that Bowmasters early. I don't know if you're like waiting for a cantrip maybe, or like you just wanted to put in like a beefier threat, but I mean, obviously hindsight is 2020, and we get all the answers, but Dread Fugue revealing Lutri wouldn't have been too bad of an issue. Dread Fugue only getting stuff that's 2 or less, but yeah, unfortunately did get that Bowmasters out of his hand before he had a chance to cast it.
Yeah, and notably as well, with the Bowmasters gone, we're not able to kind of get a cheeky chump with Gurmag, deal 1 damage to Croxa, and then untap with the 2 creatures plus Lutri to go for a aggressive approach and turn the game over. So this Croxa might be able to lock in this game.
Yeah, that would have been really nice. And it seems like Max does not want to just like push into the 2 and like make the trade, but he won't get both of them, but he still gets the trigger. But yeah, again, I think because Max is behind, he's probably happy to just have this as a blocker. But against the blue-black deck, there's no shortage of removal spells, so Max can't hide behind this Croxa forever.
Ooh, another showing for the Surveil lands in the format. Going for Undercity Sewers, I believe it is, the blue-black Surveil land. Yeah. Happy with the choice and keeping it.
Love the Surveil lands. Nice new feature of Murder's a Call of Mana. And it seems like lots of people are either split on it or very into it. So we see in the chat, Kate, top 8 is playing, love to see it. Extremely funny. People are doing the umming and ahhing, and I've done my favorite thing, which I'll devote to doing every single time after that, is tell everyone to close their eyes and put up their hand if they want to play. And people could be convinced to not play, but if you do it like that, everyone plays. they always play, and I think that's probably for the best, because it's like this weird tension with like wanting to, that's it, yeah. It's a weird tension with like wanting to do the top 8 because like you're sort of influenced by other people's decisions, and also you kind of want to play for glory, but it's like the end of the day and blah, blah, blah. So it's really inspiring to see these players play it out. And unfortunately, Max is going to get knocked out on the first round of top 8, but get this, we're in, baby. Going to go to the next round.
Impressive showing for Connor, and some sick plays made by Max. That misstep into Dread Fugue was so impressive.
Yeah, and I think other committee member, we've seen a lot of committee members today, and wonderful news. But Billinghurst in the chat, I think holding the Bowmasters leaves you open to attacking with everything next turn to trade the Gurmag with the Croxa and leave Connor with lethal attacks. He drew the Ponder Fatal Push, present lethal instead, but I think the Bowmaster trade was the line if he didn't. Yeah, pretty similar to what you mentioned as well. Get that cheeky extra point of damage to take down that Croxa with the Gurmag Angler as well. All right, let's have a look and see what other people are playing. Tell you what, the 4-color tokens deck is here, ready to party. Very exciting for all of us. It seems like, yeah, we're seeing a lot of fun happening over here. Lovely. Well, yeah, we've still got a little bit to go. I think there's one more match playing. So we'll pass on. Cody, I'm gonna bring Ben back here in the studio if that's all right with you for this second last or last round. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure commentating these games with you.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine as well. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, everyone. We'll take a quick break and then we'll come back for top 4. Thanks, everyone.